everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the NUS Bachelor of Information Technology or BIT information session. I'm your host, Benny Chong, a senior manager with the NUS School of Continuing and Lifelong Education, also known as NUS Scale. This evening, we'll be sharing some key information with you about the BIT undergraduate degree program, which has been designed for working professionals and a curriculum that's been developed around the evolving needs of the industry. We will also touch on a few admission matters before heading into a question and answer segment. If you take a glance near the bottom of your Zoom window, you will see a button labeled Q&A that you can use later in the session to submit your inquiries about the BIT program. For now, though, let's get this session into gear. It's my pleasure to introduce Associate Professor Danny Poo, BIT Program Director. Prof. Poo, would you mind sharing with us an overview of the BIT program, please?
Welcome to the BIT information sessions. My name is Danny Poo. I'm an associate professor at the School of Computing and also the program director for BIT program. BIT is a partnership between the School of Computing and Scale. In today's context, we see digital disruption all over the place. From fourth industrial revolution, we have now moved on to the fifth industrial revolution. And basically what it means is that companies are now using digital solutions to facilitate their businesses. And this is evolving at an exponential pace itself. And every industry will be involved with will be affected by this digital disruption. We need to keep one step ahead. And from a government perspective, we have been investing tremendously in ICT for smart nation growth, for instance. The government has also upgraded its ICT infrastructures and developed more technical and more technical capabilities. And other main sectors are also affected, including securities and also services. There is a huge demand for Singapore's IT professionals with remarkable projected growth even beyond 2025. And we see this happening, and that is where we have this BIT program, a partnership between SOC and Scale. SOC provide quality of the programs. In fact, the School of Computing is the flagship computing school in Singapore to provide computing programs, and supported by Scale for administration and other support services. One thing for sure is that all degrees are conferred by the National University of Singapore. A little bit about the School of Computing. School of Computing is made up of two departments, computer science, as well as information systems and analytics. There are as many as 256 academic and teaching staff, together with some other research staff. We do service as many as 6,000 students, undergraduate and postgraduate students. Ranking, the School of Computing is the top Asian university, and we also rank quite favorably around the world. We are fourth under the QS World University Ranking. And for computer science, the Times Higher Education have ranked us as 11. And in the technologies of blockchain, we are ranked second by Coinbase in 2025. There are a number of research carried out in the school. And in particular, I would like to make mentions of the kind of research we do with international recognition and also high impact on national priorities. For example, AI Singapore that the school is involved in. So what is BIT and who is it for? Well, BIT is a new continuing education and training degree, or CET in short, particularly in the area of information technology, and it complements the needs of the working adults and the ICT industry. Working adults in ICT-related careers who wish to upgrade themselves for career progression, that is our target market. And if you are looking to get your first ICT degree, certainly BIT is the degree that you should be aiming for. And we service mid-career switchers who wish to pivot to an ICT-related career. Some of the key features of BIT, and I'll go slow on this to help you understand what this BIT program is about. It is a 120 unit non-honors degree. So in short, it's actually a 3 years program. And in 3 years is considered a shorter duration as most of the programs in the university is a 4 years degree honors program itself. That broader focus is certainly great for students seeking wider range of knowledge and skills. And certainly with this degree, you raise the employability of yourself in the ICT field itself. And there is recognition of prior learning in this, about 32 units or more. We call it advanced placements credit for eligible students. I'll talk more about that later on as to who can qualify for these 32 units or more. And learning modality is targeted for working adults like yourself, and flexible workload where we have more than 40% of blended learning. Certainly more useful for working people who find that they may not be able to come in person for lectures. And that will culminate into the completions of the bachelor degree within 3 years. There are many pathways by which you can get into BIT. As you can see, this all open funnel admissions process itself allows for various groups of candidates to be admitted into the BIT program. If you have an A level, if you have a polytechnic diploma or IB diploma, and we also allow for stackable academic courses where you can take certain courses within the university and stack them up for admission into the BIT program. We are also exploring possibilities of letting those with a work-study diploma as well as specialist diploma for admission into this program itself. Once you get your BIT, there are also pathways for you to advance into postgraduate study, like possibly doing a Master of Computing in a School of Computing. Some degree requirement that you may have to pay attention to, basically the 120 units requirement can be broken down into these few areas. One is the university level requirement. That's about 24 units. And some of you could be exempted 12 units because of your study background previously. Program requirements made up of computing foundation courses, mathematics foundation courses, industrial practice, as well as program electives. And the program electives are made up of 3 focus areas in which you have to choose one of them. It could be business analytics, cybersecurity, or software engineering. And there are 24 units of unrestricted elective requirements, whereby 20 units of advanced placement credit could be awarded to diploma holders. That is, if you are ICT related diploma, you could have up to 20 units of APC awarded to you. So total number of units for graduation is 120 units, whereby 32 units are typically exempted for diploma holders with work experience. Let's break this down into pictorial form and hope you can understand here better. We have the program requirements, 80 units, and this broken down into program essentials with program essentials where you work in industrial experience projects, and you need to work on computing and maths foundation courses. And it also includes program electives on one of the focus areas that you may have chosen, either business analytics, cybersecurity, or software engineering. Full-time students usually take about 5 courses, that is about 20 units, and CET, a student usually take about 3 courses or 12 units at one time. And the 120 units are also made up of university requirements that makes up 24 units. And these are actually made up of general education courses, and some work experience APC may also be credited here. Finally, the unrestricted electives are made up of 24 units, and APCs for polytechnic students give up to 20 units under the UE itself. There are 6 general education pillars, which made out of 24 units, and for BIT programs, you'll be exempted 12 units. In other words, 3 courses will be exempted, highlighted over here. Program requirements, further breakdown out of 80 units, as I mentioned earlier. Computing foundation, 40 units, and mathematics foundation, 12 units, and the industrial practice, 8-unit course. So this total 60 units itself. Program electives, this will contribute to your focus area. Of the 3 focus areas, you have to decide which one you want to go into. If you fail an elective, you may retake it or read another elective itself. And we also have the unrestricted electives of 24 units. Students can select UE from a basket of electives to make up for the remainder of the total unit requirement. Let me highlight to you what are the 3 focus areas. These are some of the courses in the focus on business analytics: data management and visualization, predictive analytics, data mining, and machine learning in business analytics. So these are the 3 courses that will be necessary to contribute to this focus area. Jobs will be in data scientist, market researcher, or business analyst. Focus on software engineering. 3 courses highlighted here: software engineering, user interface development, and managing software projects. And the kind of jobs that you can be engaged in will be web developer, software analyst, and software engineer. Finally, the third focus is on cybersecurity, with 3 courses highlighted here: information security management, network and cloud security, and computer security. The kind of jobs that you can be engaged in: security analyst, software engineer, and system administrator. The career prospects for BIT graduates are abundant. We can have data engineer, software engineer, data analyst, security analyst, business analyst, network engineer, for instance. Get the best of both worlds. Come on board and join us. School of Computing and Scale welcome you. I will leave it to the organizer now for further questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Prof. Poo. Our next segment is on admission matters, and guiding you through this will be Mr. Benjamin Tay, Senior Manager over at NUS Scale. Benjamin, what are some important points we should keep in mind?
Thank you, Benny. Yeah, so I'm gonna go right into it for the next 10 minutes or so. I'm not gonna repeat too much of what Prof. Poo had went through earlier, because I'm pretty sure he gave a very good account of the program, the structure, and of course the prospects. So I'm gonna touch more on the admission side of things, as well as the application procedures, and very importantly the tuition fees, and what are the common scenarios that are faced by potential applicants, so that you can relate to some of these scenarios that we have mapped out for you. All right, so let me just pretty sure you can see my screen, right? So So, yeah, this is what Prof. Hu mentioned earlier, three focus areas, one BIT program. So you have cybersecurity, software engineering, and business analytics. So, yeah, not to repeat, but just to reiterate that, all the courses, all the modules, the entire program is designed and taught by faculty members at the NUS School of Computing, SOC, right? The only thing that skill is involved is the administration part, which is, after you submit your applications, that's how the your applications get processed, and course that's how you receive the outcomes, and throughout your entire student journey, this will all be administered by skill. But in terms of the delivery, in terms of the content, you will receive the exact same content as the full-time students at the BCom program at SOC, right? So no dilution of anything whatsoever. So, if you're interested, which I'm sure most of you are, that's why you are here today virtually. So these are the admission requirements. We have three main pointers. So the first thing is an age requirement. You have to be at least 21 years old to apply and matriculate into this program. So take note that the 21-year-old age requirement is in the year of matriculation. All right, so this year, 2026. For those of you who have applied last year, but still 20 years old, as long as you hit 21 this year, that's how you can be eligible, right? So in terms of the academic credentials and qualifications, you need to have at least a polytechnic diploma, A-level certificate, IB diploma, or at least equivalent local and foreign qualifications. And then very importantly, the third pointer, you just need to fulfill one of the following conditions that you see here, not all three. Take note, it's just one. So you need to have at least 2 years of full-time work experience, or for the males, you need to be fully discharged from your NS, National Service Liability, and then with at least 1 year of full-time work experience. Or you can also be fully employed at the present point of time when you are submitting an application, or of course when you're starting the program, and then with just 1 year of full-time work experience accumulated, right? So some common scenarios, like I just mentioned earlier, if you are a male, Singaporean male, of course you have to go through national service. So you just have to do your national service, get fully discharged from it, and then go on and work for 1 year, right? So if you are female, of course you don't have to do national service, right? You're female or you're a foreigner, all you need to do is to have at least 2 years of full-time work experience under your belt, or if you are currently employed, then you just need 1 year, right? Accumulated from your CV or whatever that you submit to us during the online application process. So some of the things that you can do to boost your chances or enhance your eligibility, we will very much prefer if you can submit some recommendation letters, right? So, at least one or up to two. If you have a portfolio, good as well. If you can detail, your background, your credentials, and of course, what do you hope to contribute back to this industry upon completion of this program? You can write a very detailed personal statement for us to understand you better as well. So if you have any qualifications aside from those minimum qualifications that you see here, right? It can be post-diploma, post-degree academic qualifications like advanced or specialist. You can submit them as well. All these will be considered duly, right? Especially if it's relevant, we will encourage you to submit them, right? And then, of course, your company is interested to sponsor you. It's a very good endorsement as well. So if you have some documents, signifying your company sponsorship, you can also submit it along with your online application. All right. So, of course, when you apply for the program, there's direct admission, and there are also those who might be required to go through some bridging courses before they can be admitted to the degree proper. So the most common scenario here is applicants who hold a part-time 2.5-year poly diploma. So in those instances, you will have to go through at least one of the bridging course that you see here, right? That can be a mathematics bridging course. And of course, you can see the fees there, and of course, what the bridging course is all about. So the math bridging course is, of course, about the GCE O-level A math. And after, the lessons, the lectures and tutorials, you have to take a test at the end of the day. Or either that or a programming bridging course, right? Which basically equips you with basic fundamental knowledge in Python programming, which is essential for this program because it is the main language being used throughout the entirety of this program, right? And of course, you will have an assessment at the end of the day. But to avoid complications, you don't have to think of this too much at the point of application. Just submit your documents, give us what you got, and then let the admissions team do the necessary work, right? The assessment from there. If you require bridging, of course, we'll let you know. If you don't, we'll let you know as well. So just submit whatever you have and let us do the rest. All right. So just now you heard a little bit about APC, which is Advanced Placement Credits from Prof Pool. So these are basically, in more layman terms, exemptions, right? So very commonly, you will fall into either one of the two groups of applicants or students that you see here. You can be either a diploma holder or a GCA A-levels holder, right? So if you're a diploma holder or higher, anything higher than a diploma in this case, you will automatically be granted 32 units of APC or exemptions, right? So 32 units, if you want to translate it in terms of time or in terms of modules or courses, NUS now we have a naming convention, we call them courses, but basically courses equal to modules, modules equal to courses, right? So a typical module is about 4 units. So 32 units is around 8 modules or so. And this will probably amount to a total of approximately 1 academic year, right? So if you're a diploma holder, you will get 32 units automatically, which will be made up of 20 units of unrestricted elective as well as 12 units of general education courses, right? So if you have additional qualifications like advanced deep or specialist deep, especially as if it's relevant to ICT, then of course further APCs may be granted upon review of those qualifications that you submit. All right. So if you are non-diploma holder, then once you secure admission into the program, you'll be granted 12 units of APCs automatically, right? 12 units will come from general education. So 12 units is of course 3 modules, right? So in terms of the program structure, I believe you saw this briefly earlier as well. So there are 3 terms in a typical NUS academic year. I'm sure you should know by now, our main semester is in August. So this is the intake that you are applying to, which is the August 2026 intake. So it will run from August all the way to December. And after that, you take a vacation of about 4 to 5 weeks, if I'm not wrong, before semester 2 starts again in January. And of course, semester 2 will run all the way until May. And then for BIT students, you will also have to contend with a special term, right? The special term will run from May to July, right? So the typical workload in a regular academic year, you take 3 courses per academic semester and then 2 courses during the special term, right? But of course, BIT is a very flexible program. This is just by default. Based on your work schedule and your personal commitments, you're also allowed to mix and match and try to structure this more effectively and efficiently accordingly to your schedule, right? But this is the default. And then when it comes to the classes, of course, you should know there's also blended learning, about 60% face-to-face, 40% blended learning for BIT. But whenever you need to come to the campus for classes, this is the typical timing that it will be taking place, right? Usually during the weekdays evening, 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. And some of these lab sessions especially may fall on weekends. So if it happens, usually during Saturday morning or afternoon, but of course we'll keep you informed beforehand, right? All right. All right, now to the portion where most of you should be very interested in, which is the tuition fees. Of course, with everything, the amount of investment that you're forking out takes a very large consideration, right? So this is the tuition fee. How we calculate it is based on per unit. So if you remember, the BIT program is a 3-year, 120 unit program. So based on the different categories here, Singapore citizens, Singapore PRs, or international student, we have a different set of fee charged per unit. So the easiest way to calculate is to take the fee here and multiply by 120, right? And then of course you will get the total tuition fee. But you don't have to worry about that. If you need to take a screenshot or print screen, you can do it the next slide because we have done all the necessary calculations for you already. But just hanging on to this slide and explaining some other matters here. So aside from the tuition fees, every semester, there's also a set of miscellaneous fees. So this basically comprises of the student services fee, the admin fee, as well as the health service fee. So this basically is charged to every NUS student, whether full-time or part-time undergrad or postgrad, so that you can enjoy the resources, the facilities that are available within the NUS campus. All right. So if you are someone who has already completed your bachelor degree or any higher form of qualification and have utilized the MOE subsidy, then of course, whatever that you see here will not be applicable, because you can only enjoy the MOE subsidy once. Right. So if you're a Singapore citizen, if you've already done a undergraduate degree from a local public university before, you can still do the BIT if you wish to, but of course you will have to pay the full fee. So that will be the category of international students, because for international students, there will be no subsidy whatsoever. All right. All right, so now the calculations. So if you look at the entire program itself, it's 120 units, 3 years, right? So we have done the multiplication and the sums for you. So Singapore citizen, you will have to pay a total of close to 27,000 here. Of course, it's not payable all in full, right? This is just the total fee. It will be payable in installment structure on a semester basis, right? But this is the full amount. So if you're PR, about 75,600. If you're international students or someone who have enjoyed the MOE subsidy before, of course, if you remember, no subsidy whatsoever. So cost a little bit more pricey here, 117,600. So if you remember earlier, if you're a diploma holder and you can enjoy, like 32 APCs, right? 32 exemptions, right? So if you take 120 minus 32, that will give you 88. Right. So of course, if you don't take as many modules, we don't charge you as much as well. So based on 88 units, if you get the 32 unit exemption, then Singapore citizens will pay lesser, even lesser, right? Just below 20,000, 19,760. For PR, about 55,000 plus. And for internationals and those without subsidies, 86,240. All right. So this is the out-of-pocket fee that you pay, right? The amount will vary based on how many units that you take at the end of the day. Of course, each and every one of you have different academic credentials, different scenarios, different APCs being granted. So yeah, at the end of the day, you just need to take the amount of units that you have to contend with, multiply by the per unit fee. That's the easiest way to calculate. All right. So if you are a Singapore citizen aged above 40, you should remember a couple of years, or maybe even 3 years ago, I think our government announced this Skills Future credit for mid-career professionals, right? It's a top up of $4,000 to our previously available funds of $1,000, right? So the BIT program is one of the eligible program under this scheme. So whatever that you pay here out of pocket, you can choose to utilize your Skills Future credit funds of $4,000 and make it even lesser, right? But that is your choice, right? Skills Future credit, you decide how you want to use it. We are just letting you know right now that this program is eligible, right? And of course, with all that, if you are interested, the application is actually open right now, right? It's actually open way back in 1st of December, and it will be open all the way until 26th January, which is about 2 weeks from now. So just take note, it will close on 12 noon on 26th of January, not 2359. So that is the application deadline and the time to take note of. So for those of you who don't already know, application is very simple, entirely online, and you just need to sync your SingPass when you start your application, and then a lot of the fields will be auto-populated. So it's a very simple process, and then you just need to upload all your documents from there, right? Entirely online. And after you apply, when the application window closes, that's when we will do the work, and then we will give you the application outcome during early March. And for those of you who have to contend with the bridging courses, the bridging courses will take place during the months of April and May, right? And then after that, for those of you who have to go through the bridging, we will let you know the results after the bridging in mid-June, so that we can close off everything by early July. And then by mid-July, we will commence the online registration exercise so that you can meet the timing here to meet will be the second week of August, where we will commence the semester. But before that, of course, we would like you to meet all your would-be classmates as well. So during the period of end July, there will usually be a student orientation and networking session, right? And then, of course, you will start school. Every year is the same period, the second week of August, all right? Okay, and with that, this is my last slide. So, of course, we are all here today. So if you have any questions, the best time to ask will be right after this session, which I believe we'll hit straight in the Q&A segment. But if you have something, if you can't think of today, or if you have something, after, today going through the application, if you encounter any obstacles, feel free to write to us anytime. Very simple. You just need to scan the QR code that you see on your screen right now. We will bring you to an online form, submit your inquiry, and then we will respond to you within 24 hours. All right. Thank you very much for your time and attention. With that, I'll hand the controls back to Benny.
All right, thank you very much, Benjamin. A lot of information over there. So just let us now move directly into the question and answer segment without further delay. If you've got any questions or concerns following the presentations by Prof. Poo and Benjamin, just click away on the Q&A button right at the bottom of your screen over there. Our knowledgeable panel will be responding to your questions tonight. Our Associate Professor Danny Poo, BIT Program Director, Associate Professor Kan Min Yen, Vice Dean of Undergraduate Studies at the NUS School of Computing. We also have Ms. Kendra Ting, Associate Director at NUS Scale, and of course, joining us again, Mr. Benjamin Tay, Senior Manager at NUS Scale. So let's take a look at the panel. Let me pull that up and see what we've got over here. So let's see. I've got a question over here that says, it's from Johnny Lowe. How is this different from the full-time computer science program?
So, Danny, do you want to take that or you
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the full-time computer science program is a 4 years honors degree program, and it is actually designed for a separate group of students, particularly for those who have just graduated from A level or polytechnic diploma. Students who are on the CET pathway, like yourself, will not be eligible to take part in the full-time computer science program. So BIT is designed for working people who have missed out on getting a degree from the School of Computing earlier on, and it is a 3 years degree program for that matter. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prof. Poo. Anybody else want to jump in with additional things? If not, I'll just move on to the next question.
So I'll just add a little bit there. So it's very clear that the NUS School of Computing wishes to really push for good CET programs. I think there are a lot of CET programs out there, but they vary a lot in quality. So we are very clear. We are using our regular faculty, our award-winning faculty, to teach the BIT program. It means that you will get all the rigor and of the computer science program and these programs that we have that are mixed into the BIT program. It also means that your degree will be worth a lot more because there is the NUS brand and SOC brand backing that. But like Danny has said, it's specifically engineered for students that have a working life and are able to sometimes participate full-time, but many times are part-time. If you need more detail about that, please ask again. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Prof. Khan, jumping in there with a little bit more detail for us. I'm just going to move on to the next question right now. And this is actually from an anonymous attendee. If my highest qualification is a 2-year advanced diploma from a private Singapore college, would I meet the minimum requirements? He also follows up with, I also have 1 year working experience as a software engineer on top of my 2-year private advanced diploma. So this person's got a 2-year advanced diploma from a private Singapore college and 1 year working experience as a software engineer as well. So does this person meet the minimum requirements?
I'll take that question. Benny?
Sure, Kendra.
So we welcome this participant to apply. Of course, we need you to submit all your proof of your qualifications as well as your working experience. I hope that answers your question.
All right, so yeah, go ahead, apply, provide all the documentations and everything else, and as Benjamin said earlier, let us do the hard stuff, right? So somebody else here is also asking about a 2.5-year diploma. They were asking if if I have a 2.5-year diploma, right, will I be eligible for the 32 units of exemptions?
So I can take that in part. The School of Computing has a uniform procedure for accrediting diplomas for advanced diploma credits. So there is a page which we will share with you on the answer to the question that tells you which degrees are applicable. So I think, Danny, if you have anything else to add, you can go ahead.
So Prof. Fu, anything to add on that?
Basically, what you have to do is to look at what you have studied in the diploma itself. And just as in the previous question, you just have to submit what you have already done so. And then we will see which of the courses that you have done qualify for any exemption. So that basically will be the process by which we go through.
All right. Thank you very much, Prof. Pu, Prof. Khan as well. We've got a person here asking, earlier Prof. Pu mentioned an alternate pathway to enter the BIT program. It's the stackable courses. Can we go into a bit more detail about that?
I think this set of stackable courses are still very much in the works itself. We are still working on what are the possible courses that can be mounted under the SOCX. SOCX is the executive education arm of the School of Computing. They will be launching such courses in the near future. But at the moment, these courses have not been finalized yet. So just watch out for the courses under the SOCX website in due course. Yeah.
Okay, so as Prof. Pu mentioned, look out for the courses on the SOCX website. We've got another question here from Vimal, right? Vimal is asking, will we get conditional admission if we want to take bridging courses? Perhaps Kendra can assist with this one.
Sorry, Benny, can you repeat the question again?
So will we get conditional admission if we need to take the bridging courses?
Can I get
Yeah, let me answer that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, okay. Well, the bridging course suggests that the participants, to some extent, meet our requirement, but we would like to further validate the knowledge capabilities of the participant by taking the bridging course itself. So upon passing the bridging courses, then we will consider admitting the candidate in that case. So is this a conditional admission? I wouldn't say it's conditional admission. You just have to make sure you pass the bridging courses, and then if you pass, then you are in. If you don't pass, even the condition is not much of a use, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I got another person asking a question, right? I would like to know if an individual failed the bridging module test. Is there any other way for them to retake the test, or will they have to apply and pass the test again for next year?
They have to wait till the next year entry itself. So yeah, if you fail, you just have to wait for another admission exercise, the next year admission exercise.
Yeah,
Okay.
hi. Maybe I can add more, Benny, to this question. I think
Sure,
in
Wee Kiong.
addition to the test itself, right, I think we also, ask the participants to actually go through a program. So the program will actually help them to prepare for the test as well, lah. So just in case participants, may think that it's just a test, but there's no preparation course and things like that. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you.
that's right.
Thank you. So there was Wee Kiong jumping in here, one of our other colleagues working in with Kendra and also in Benjamin at Scale over here. Let's see. Will the part-time cert be exactly the same and indistinguishable from the full-time degree? I think this is a question that maybe Prof. Poo can address. Will the part-time cert be exactly the same and indistinguishable from the full-time degree?
The BIT program is a full-time degree program. It's not part-time. Even though you will be taking them in the evening, it doesn't mean it's a part-time program. It's a full-time program in the sense that you have to complete 120 units of the course itself. So yeah, that's what I have got to say about that. Yeah.
Kendra here, I'd like to jump in, add
Yeah.
on to Prof. Poo's answer. So the cert, the NUS cert will not show whether you have done your degree part-time or not. So I hope that answers the question as well.
To add on a little bit more too is, during certain semesters, we understand that working professionals may be asked to do certain things within their company. So there is a bit of flexibility in the program, but so you can take a lower load for certain semesters, but it is a full-time program. Some semesters you may think of it as part-time because you may be applying for a reduced workload. The program has that flexibility built into its candidature requirements, so it's a bit more forgiving than our typical 4-year undergraduate for A-level and poly students going directly for university studies.
Okay, moving on. Next question. Will NUS still recognize a local polytechnic engineering diploma that is more than 10 years ago? Can we still go for exemption? So will this person who has got a polytechnic engineering diploma from about 10 years ago, will they be recognized and can they still get some exemptions?
I would welcome this participant to apply with us. We will look at your application holistically and then decide, and then we will, work with the admission committee to decide whether you're eligible for admission or not.
So
Maybe I can add also to that, Benny. So
yes,
because
thank you.
I think the diploma probably has done some time back. So that could be a case where we may the admission committee may require the participant to go through the bridging course as well, to go through the test as well. Yeah.
So we will have to essentially we'll have to take a look at
Yes.
the diploma and assess from there.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. So still on the bridging courses, has there been anyone who passed the bridging course but has not been accepted to the degree?
Well, you have to pass both the bridging courses for a start. There's a math and there is a programming bridging course. If you fail one of them, then you will not be admitted. But if you pass both of them, we will admit you. There's no such thing as even when you have passed the bridging courses, we don't admit you at all. Then what's the point of having the bridging course as a entry requirement? Yeah.
Yeah, so as Prof. Pu has mentioned, there are two bridging courses. There's a math and the programming one. As long as you pass two, you will get in. And Prof say, yeah, there's no such thing as we don't let you in, right? So we've got a question here about the size of the cohort, right? And it's basically how big is the cohort usually, and are there many group projects?
For most of the courses, there are likely to be group projects, right? Most of our courses are designed in such a way that we want to encourage students to work in a teams because basically in the real world, you have to work in a team. So group projects are very common. and um, nevertheless, students are free to choose their partners in the team itself, and perhaps might be even be a better opportunity for you to learn to network with one another. After all, you are all working people, and there's a great opportunity for you to extend your profession in through group projects. Yeah.
Okay. We've got a question here from a person who describes themselves as a pretty fresh poly graduate. They graduated in 2025 and is currently on an apprenticeship at an MNC, multinational corporation. So graduated 2025. The question is, would this course be suitable for me, or would a full-time degree be better? So this is a poly graduate, 2025, currently on apprenticeship at a MNC, and is asking, should I pick the BIT or a full-time degree?
Since you are a fresh graduate, you are not eligible to participate in the BIT program. You got to wait for 2 years. 2 years working experience is required. So given that, we encourage you to apply for the full-time BCom. We call it a BCom program, if that's the case, right? BCom program for them in that matter. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe can I just add on to what Prof. Wu also shared? So I think because I deal with the programs, the delivery of the programs itself, I mean, I encounter students who told me that actually they prefer the part-time program because it really helps them, they have a job. Then on top of the job, they can also, study and then, because the whole program itself is quite flexible, like what Prof. Khan has mentioned. So it really depends on individual. So if let's say you can commit, your time for more studies, right? You can take more courses in a semester, or you can take fewer courses in case, let's say, you have work commitments that very heavy for that period of time as well. Yeah. So I mean, flexibility is actually one major considerations for working adults. Yeah. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much. We've got a question next from Alex Yan. They're asking, in the NUS judging process for applications, would there be a greater preference for candidates with relevant IT working experience as opposed to relevant IT academic qualifications? So if I've got IT working experience versus academic qualifications, is there a different way of weighting this? Is there a different requirement categories kind of happening here?
I think we talk about minimum requirement first. The academic qualification will be the minimum requirement, right? So we talk about ICT related diploma and your GPA for that diploma itself. We look at that first, and your professional experiences will come in handy in the event that you do not meet the academic qualification. We will then examine, how you might be suitable for entry into the BIT program.
I'll say also that it really depends on how the academic and working qualifications stack up. So, for example, there was an earlier question about really old um, academic credentials. So, of course, when your academic credentials are quite dated, we will rely more heavily on more recent qualifications. So it depends. It's really not something where we have a formula and we just exercise it. We look individually at each candidate and see whether we can qualify them for direct admission or conditional admissions.
All right, thank you, Prof. Khan. I hope we managed to answer that question. I'm just seeing over here that there's an interesting question that asks about career guidance. Will there be career guidance for students, especially when deciding which of the three specializations, if they need help to decide whether they can go for cybersecurity, business analytics, or software engineering? Does NUS provide that kind of service?
Okay, maybe I'll just start comment this. Maybe Prof. Wu, you can add on as well. So I think if you look at our curriculum itself, I think when students come into the program, generally they go through the foundation courses. So through the foundation courses, I think students actually can understand what their interest lies and find out more about the different specialized or focus areas for the program itself. But on the other hand, actually in NUS itself, we have resources to help students as well. In case, because you talk about career guidance, so I believe this person, when asking this question, will be interested, in looking at, or job specifics, or areas relating to career related matters. So you do have a career for future ready graduates. This is a unit itself. Actually, they have resources and programs to help our students, be it full-time or part-time students, to give them resources to help them, to understand more about the various career choices and also equip them with the skills necessary for them for them to pivot or for them to consider career changes and things like that as well. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just checking in some. We've got quite a number of questions over here, so I'm just checking in on these. A very quick question: is there any internship opportunity built into this program?
Maybe Paul, I can answer this question.
Yeah, sure.
I think given the fact that many of our, students are actually working adults, it's actually very hard for them to do an internship itself. But like what Paul say, we have a capstone and we have actually projects that's embedded into our various courses in the program. So I think if let's say the candidate or the participant or student is very interested in all this, they can actually, learn new skills through the projects as well, and also through the capstones.
Okay, thank you. We've got a couple of questions here, including one from our 2025 Poly graduate earlier. This person says, I'm going to clear my 1 year of working experience in May, and I'll still be working. So will I be eligible by that time? Because maybe I'm not. So 25-year-old Poly graduate going to accumulate 1 full year of working experience in May.
And he's still working.
Currently still working, yes, and will still be working after May.
I think early on, Benjamin has already mentioned if you are working, currently working and have 1 year working experience, yeah, you're eligible for the application.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. As long as you're fully employed, when you're when you're doing the program, and then along with it, you have also accumulated 1 year of full-time work experience. And of course, we welcome your application.
Okay, still on work requirements, right? Does it need to be at least 2 years of consecutive work experience, or can it be accumulated over several years? This is because the person's work experience revolves around the school holidays and it's contract based.
Maybe I can answer that question. The answer is yes. You can accumulate itself to be a 2 years working experience. Yeah.
Okay, so the answer is yes, it's positive, right? Are we eligible to take scholarships or financial schemes provided by NUS?
Okay, so maybe I'll try to answer this question. So, this course itself is actually a CET program catered to working adults. So, generally, definitely we expect our working adults to be already working or they have, accumulated working experiences. So, definitely they will have the financial means to pay for their programs itself. But for Singaporeans and PRs to some extent, I think we do have some financial aid schemes. This will have to explore to our Office of Admission itself. We have a website on all these schemes that's available. Unfortunately, there's none available now for nationalities. Yeah.
Okay. There's a question here, and I think it was mentioned in Prof. Poo's presentation earlier. What is the percentage of face-to-face to online sessions?
We're talking about 40% blended learning. So at least about 40% of the lectures and tutorial contents will be online. That means to say that the student need not have to come in person to campus. 60% we expect the student to turn up in person, mainly because we feel that it's necessary for in-person discussion as a more effective way to learn those practical contents that might be in the course itself.
Yeah,
Okay.
let me add a little bit of rationale around that. SOC prides itself on its level of instruction and the quality of instruction. So it's really, really important that when you earn your degree from NUS, it represents something of value. Now, you can take similar degree programs outside in completely online courses like MOOCs from Coursera or Udemy, but they won't give you that level of edge because things are completely online, right? You really have to be in the classroom for a number of sessions, working with classmates. That's why there's a group component for some of the project-based components like Danny mentioned. And that is the edge. If you take things just online, it's very hard to accomplish that. That's why we've insisted on the quality of instruction by demanding certain components be face-to-face. Now, that said, we understand that there are students who do need to revise materials, and many times a lecturer will pre-record or make recordings available so you can revise at your own time, own target. So that is our stance. Again, NUS is very clear that all activities need to be face-to-face as the default, but we relax some of these requirements in the case of continuing education.
All right, thank you, Prof. Khan. So yes, it's important to have face-to-face to ensure that you get quality education. So I've got somebody here who's asking about the bridging programs. Will everyone be automatically enrolled in the bridging assessment unless they have clear credentials that they don't require it? So how do we choose who goes into the bridging assessment? Yeah.
Basically, firstly, we look at your academic qualification. Those who are required to take the bridging courses are those candidates who do not have sufficient qualification academically. And for example, if you are required to do the maths bridging course, this suggests that your previous diploma or A-level result are grade for maths may not be sufficient enough, and we would like you to take part in the bridging course and the bridging assessment test to make sure that you have the sufficient prerequisite to take part in the BIT program itself. Likewise, it's the same for the Python programming bridging course. If you are requested to take the Python bridging course, this suggests that you do not have sufficient programming background in your diploma itself. So, in other words, those who have been asked to take the bridging courses lack the sufficient qualification academically for admission.
Yeah. So still on the bridging courses, if somebody has done an external online course for programming, will they still need to do bridging for programming?
We are looking for academic qualification. A lot of time, such kind of courses um, uh, are not suitable for to reflect on their academic capability itself. I mean, we take those programs that you have taken through our bona fide polytechnics, 6 polytechnics here, for example, as the benchmark for academic qualification, for instance.
Okay, thanks, Prof.
Yeah.
We're just gonna take one last question before we end the session, okay? And this is from an anonymous attendee. Would this degree be better as a degree when pivoting careers, or is it better for poly graduates with 2 years of work experience looking for their first degree? So I think maybe this person is asking, who was this program designed for? Somebody who wants to pivot careers, or a poly graduate who's got 2 years of work experience looking to get a first degree?
Maybe I'll try to attempt to answer this question.
Thank you,
I
Wee-Kiang.
think this program actually is designed for both. It's actually for people who are looking for their first degree, and especially if they are working, and actually they can leverage on their working experiences into this CT program itself. Of course, we also acknowledge that after working some time, people from the non-ICT industry, they may want to look into going into taking up certain positions in the ICT industry. Therefore, this will actually be very relevant. And of course, the nature of the program is such that classes are conducted in the evening. So therefore, the professionals don't have to quit their job. They can actually study this program first and then gain enough confidence and knowledge before deciding whether to pivot to the ICT industry as well. So actually, this program actually works for both intended audiences.
Okay, so it's a really flexible one, designed to accommodate both types of candidates. So if you're either kind of candidate, right, and you're really interested in the BIT program, drop us in your application, hit the submit button before the application deadline. And I'm afraid that's the last question we can take tonight. Thank you very much, Prof. Pu, Prof. Khan, Kendra, Benjamin, and even Wee-Kiang, who's come in, right? And thank you too to all our participants for joining this session tonight. Before we close, let me share a gentle reminder to submit your application to join the August 2026 intake of the Bachelor of Information Technology program before noon, right? 12 p.m. noon on the 26th of January 2026. We look forward to being your partner as you take your next steps in your lifelong learning journey. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Have a great night.